Homeostasis is an essential process to understand and one you will refer to often when studying the physiology of various organs and organ systems throughout AandP 1 and 2. The term homeostasis means to maintain a stable environment. When we refer to homeostatic regulation, we are referring to adjustments in a physiological process to maintain homeostasis. A failure to maintain homeostasis results in illness or even death. There are three components to what is often called a homeostatic loop. These three components include the receptor, control center, and effector. Each component plays a critical role in maintaining homeostasis. The definitions for each of these are provided on this slide. Let's talk now about the two types of homeostatic loops, or more properly termed feedback loops. There are two types of feedback in the body: negative feedback and positive feedback. In negative feedback, the goal is to correct the problem and return the body back to its original state. In this case, the activity that occurs due to negative feedback will oppose or negate the stimulus. Negative feedback is the most common type of feedback because it returns the body back to its constant internal environment. Can you think of some examples of negative feedback that occur in your body? In positive feedback, the activity works to enhance the stimulus. This type of feedback generally takes the body away from its original state. As a result, examples of positive feedback are limited to just a few processes in the body. Can you think of any examples of positive feedback that occur in the body? Let's look at an example of negative feedback. In this example, we will look at thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is the ability of your body to maintain a constant internal temperature. Your constant temperature is generally 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. When your body becomes too cold, we see vasoconstriction of blood vessels near the surface of the skin, preventing heat loss. Additionally, skeletal muscles begin contracting. This is the shivering you experience under cold temperatures. Muscle contraction generates heat, which will help to raise your body temperature. On the flip side, if we become too warm, we will vasodilate vessels in the skin to release heat, and sweat glands will be stimulated to produce sweat. The sweat then evaporates from our body and cools us down. So in this example, we see how negative feedback helps to maintain our normal body temperature. Now, let's look at an example of positive feedback. As I mentioned previously, positive feedback is rare within the body because this tends to take us away from homeostasis. One example of positive feedback is the milk letdown reflex, which occurs when a newborn begins suckling on a mother's breast. This stimulates hormone release from the pituitary gland and muscle contraction within the breast to release milk. Other examples of positive feedback include the uterine contractions that occur during labor and the delivery and the blood clotting process. These examples will be discussed in more detail in AandP 2. You have your Test Your Understanding box in your lecture guide. Take a moment to read the question and write down what you think the answer is. You will see these throughout your lecture guide to test your understanding of a concept just covered. The last page of your lecture guide includes a list of learning objectives. You can use the questions under each learning objective to build yourself a study guide for these topics.